In early January 2026, the world woke up to a headline nobody expected. The United States had launched a direct operation in Venezuela. Hours later, Washington claimed that Venezuela's president, Nicolás Maduro, was in U.S. custody.
Maduro and his wife are now facing charges related to drug trafficking in the United States. CBS reporter Natalie Brand has the latest.
Some called it justice, others called it an act of war. But what actually happened behind the scenes is far more complex than the headlines suggest. By 2026, Venezuela had been in crisis for over a decade. Economic collapse, mass migration, and political repression had turned the country into one of the most unstable states in the Western Hemisphere. Nicolás Maduro, in power since 2013, was accused by the United States of corruption, drug trafficking, and undermining democracy. Under Donald Trump, Washington abandoned diplomacy and adopted what it called a strategy of maximum pressure. Sanctions tightened, threats increased, and eventually, pressure turned into action. According to U.S. officials, the decision to act was framed as a law enforcement operation, not a traditional invasion. The White House argued that Maduro was no longer a legitimate head of state, but the leader of a criminal organization protected by power. Plans were prepared quietly, targets were selected, and in early January, the order was given. On January 3rd, U.S. forces struck key locations in Venezuela. Details remain classified, but within hours, President Trump announced that Nicolás Maduro had been captured and transferred to U.S. custody. The announcement shocked allies and rivals alike. For the first time in modern history, a sitting Latin American president had been seized by the United States. Venezuelan state television responded almost immediately. Officials denied U.S. claims, insisting Maduro was still president. But images released later, documents, seized equipment, and confessions suggested something had gone very wrong for the regime. Control in Caracas appeared uncertain. From Washington, Donald Trump defended the operation. He described it as a necessary step to restore order and protect regional stability. Critics accused him of violating international law. Supporters called it decisive leadership. The United States, once again, stood at the center of a global controversy.
He effed around, and he found out.
Around the world, reactions were swift. Some governments condemned the operation as illegal. Others remained silent. At the United Nations, diplomats warned that the precedent could reshape global politics. Whether the operation brought stability or chaos was now an open question. The capture of Nicolás Maduro may mark a turning point, not just for Venezuela, but for how power is exercised in the modern world. Governments can fall in days. Consequences can last decades. And the real story of this operation may only be beginning.
Speak to Maduro about when you spoke, and is the
Well,
US
I don't want to
at
get
war
into
with
the
Venezuela?
conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said, you got to surrender. And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did, yeah.